Hello and welcome to the first official vlog of traveling Maine. We have some very exciting locations that we are going to check out today. That is going to be over at the Schoodic Peninsula. I believe I pronounced that correctly. It's part of the Acadia National Park area, but it's more secluded from the Bar Harbor part, so there's going to be a lot less light pollution because Bar Harbor is getting out of control with their light pollution. So if Bar Harbor Chamber of Commerce sees this, please get that under control because Acadia is known for its incredible dark skies. So let's get that under control, please. But without further ado, let's get on the road because we have about a 2-hour drive there. Let's go. Well, welcome to Acadia National Park, the Schoodic District. So I am way over here, my camera's way over there, and way over there you will see White Harbor Lighthouse. I can't think of the name now that I'm over here, but I have got a couple ideas for this time lapse that I would like to do with this lighthouse. This is the first lighthouse that I have photographed here in Maine since living here. So the idea is it's a long ways away. So I've tested out a couple different focal lengths and I'm thinking that I'm going to do a 300 millimeter star trail because 300 millimeters is just way too long to be doing anything Milky Way. I was thinking that maybe I would do a 50 millimeter and you could maybe see the Milky Way kind of come across as it sets later on in the night. But even at 50 millimeter, that thing is really far away and really small and you can barely even tell it's there. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna opt to doing a long exposure foreground, maybe during blue hour if I can get back over here, because it's a loop. So I'm gonna have to drive all the way around and come back here because where I wanna go to is actually somewhere called the Raven's Nest, which is a little bit further down the road here. But I'm gonna get photo pills out and let's check what this has to offer. So just to show you guys, this is on 50 millimeter and I am planning on shooting this at portrait orientation. So as you can see, that lighthouse is just super tiny. So let's switch it over to 300. So this is starting over at 700 and it's not in focus, but you get the gist. This is at 300. And again, I'm thinking portrait orientation. One other thing I do have to be super careful with is tide. So I have no idea. I'm pretty sure it's low tide right now. At least it looks low. Everywhere I've driven across looks very just shallow or like the water's receded a lot. So I gotta make sure I set up my camera somewhere where if low or high tide starts, my camera's not gonna drown. Well, funny enough, I had to do the whole loop again, and we are now at Raven's Nest. Great golden sunset right now. You can see these other cars here. I'm not the only one here. And this spot has become so popular that the National Park Service has actually blocked off the exact spot where you need to set up your camera for the shot. So let's go down there, let's go check it out and see if we can come up with anything similar. This beautiful orange glow from the sunset right now. I'm gonna try to grab a couple quick pics. So here is the lookout. But this is not the closed off area. What a nice sunset though, wow. That's really more so what it looks like to the naked eye. Wow. So let me show you guys the lookout. I'm probably going to get the blue hour composition if I can, and then take the sky from somewhere else and just Photoshop the sky in. Because I don't want to break the park rules, because I know it can be very costly if you get caught. So don't want to do that, and don't recommend anybody doing that. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to do a mosaic, panorama, whatever you want to call it. 3 vertical shots for the foreground. Then I think I'm going to do 3 panels for the sky, each tracked 1-minute shots, about 10 minutes or 10 minutes total per shot. And then I might move on to some other locations while my other camera is doing the star tracking. So I'm gonna go grab my tripod and start doing the foreground shots. I might need to wait a little bit longer because there's still a lot of light left in the water. So I don't know, we'll see. So this is the window that this camera's all set up to take. But typically you'd walk till about those roots right there, get your tripod set up, but it's all blocked off by ropes and stuff. So pop in right there, get that Milky Way, fits right in there. Very iconic shot. Got a beautiful twilight sunset. I'm gonna drive around to the lighthouse lookout, get that camera set up, and come back for the shots here. Not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed. The lighthouse, which is right behind me, it is extremely dim, and you really can't see much of it whatsoever. So I think the plan, oh, that was a puddle. The plan is gonna be, I'm gonna take a single exposure 50mm for the lighthouse in the foreground and kind of see how that looks. I'm gonna take a 300mm shot like I planned. I'm gonna see how that looks. And then I think I'm gonna ultimately do the 50mm time lapse. And then in Photoshop later, I might layer in the 300mm lighthouse later on and just have the 50mm Milky Way core kind of setting behind it. And I'll do what's called a focal length composite or focal length blend. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So let's get going on setting that up. And oh, perfect. Would you look at that? You can actually see Scorpius. See if I can focus on them a little bit better. Yeah. You can see Scorpius rising, and we have like about another hour of blue hour left, or twilight left, so that'll start to rise up. Maybe I can take some shots real quick. And it wouldn't be true Astro adventure if the clouds didn't get in the way. Oh, well, I wrapped up at the Raven's Nest and met some great guys there. I'm excited to see their shots, and right when they left I took a tumble, and thank God my equipment's okay. I took a step on a tree root and my foot just slipped right behind me, and I fell pretty hard on my knees. Thankfully, the Benro Polaris, I'm pretty sure, took the brunt of the fall, and the camera just kind of popped off the Polaris and everything's fine, no issues. So currently at the Schoodic Point, and I'm currently dealing with some really stupid clouds that just won't get out of the core. So my shot at the Raven's Nest is, I might have to come back another night to make sure I get the shot that I'm actually wanting. Otherwise, it'll be a composite where I probably take a foreground and a sky on different days or whatever. But you know what? You win some, you lose some, and the clouds are always a pain in the butt. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a general tracked pano. Nothing too crazy. Might do a 360. I don't know. But I'm just going to spend another hour or two out here and circle back and pick up the other camera. So remember how I talked about high tide and low tide? The water is way higher. But I'm pretty sure my camera is above where the water is. I made sure to put it in a low area, or no, not a low area, a high area where it was very dry. So I'm rushing over to make sure my camera isn't submerged underwater. Jesus. Oh, I'm pretty sure we're good. Pretty sure it's behind this big rock right here. Woo, we good. Just previewed the images and time lapse looks freaking sweet. Honestly, I'm really glad I left the camera here. Even if I did have a little mini heart attack because of high tide. But I'm really excited to process that time lapse. Looks like I should be able to get a couple really good stills from it as well. But that band of clouds really photobombed both over at Raven's Nest and in the time lapse, because the core, it would have been perfect, but the clouds decided to interrupt it right at the perfect time. But hey, just had to come back. So we're pretty much wrapped up here. I'm gonna race over to Bass Harbor Lighthouse. The Milky Way is gonna fall into place about 2 a.m., but I'm a little concerned because of high tide now. I'm not sure if the rocks that I need to get on in order to get the composition are gonna be available for me to get on. So let's just head over there and find out. Whew. Well, I tell you what, I'm exhausted. I just got done checking out the Bass Harbor area and we got clouded out. So not really sure where these clouds came from, but I think it's a good time to call it a night anyways. So we'll just have to come back and try again next time. So it does look like high tide is affecting kind of the angle of where I need to be. So I just got to Google like the next time that the Milky Way will be in this position during low tide and hopefully be able to snag this shot. So thank you guys for watching this video and enjoy these time lapses and shots.